Hey guys, it's me. Uh, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Taylor, and I am transgender. I posted on Facebook about topics for my videos because I'm horrible at recording these videos. My last video, I didn't smile hardly at all. My eye contact was horrible, so bear with me on this. I'll get better as we go along. This is my second video, and the topic for this is going to be how I first knew I was transgender. I want to start out with a few terms from the LGBTQ community. The first being transgender. That's what I am. Not a lot of people know what transgender means. They have heard the term loosely and they don't know exactly what it stands for. Um, so I looked up a couple definitions and I'm going to read these to you real quick. Transgender is denoting or relating to a person whose self-identity does not conform unambiguously to conventional notions of male or female gender. More layman's terms is of relating to or being someone who identifies with or expresses a gender identity that differs from the one which corresponds to the person's sex at birth. So basically, transgender is the replacement term for transsexual or transvestite. I don't like either one of those words. When I first discovered the word transgender, I thought it was different from transsexual or transvestite. Um, my fiance, Catherine, was the person who helped me to realize that I was transgender. I honestly feel like I've known my entire life that I'm transgender, but I didn't know that there was a term for it. I didn't know that there was information out there on people like me, and I don't even really like saying that, people like me, because that implies that I'm different from everybody else in the world. But in the same aspect, I had a term that I could look up on the internet. I could research and find out information about transgender and being transgender and what it means to me and how there is such a large community of people out there like myself. I actually have a really good friend. His name is Rory, and I met Rory about 2 years ago, and we instantly clicked and bonded because we both are transgender. We both deal with a lot of the same issues that quote unquote males don't have to deal with and females don't have to deal with. Male and female being people that were born male with male anatomy and people that were born female with female anatomy. It's difficult for somebody like myself and Rory, and I also have another friend named Riley who I worked with and didn't even know, which happens quite a bit, that you don't really realize that there are as many transgender people around you. Um, but we we struggle daily with being transgender, not in a bad way all the time, just in the aspect of people don't quite understand us. They don't understand that we were born into the body we were born into and what we feel on the inside and in our heads is so different from what we were born as. I I would say since I was probably old enough to comprehend my name, my birth name, that I knew that I was transgender. I didn't know what transgender was. I didn't know what gay or lesbian was. I was probably 4 years old. At 4 years old, you don't know the terms that society has and the labels that society has for you. You don't know those things. You just know how you feel inside. I, growing up, I had the utmost support from my mom my dad, my brother, my sister, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. It didn't matter how I dressed, what I played with, what I did. It didn't matter. They loved me for who I was, and they supported me. There was only a few occasions that I was forced to wear a dress or dress girly, and I hated every second of it. And my family understood that. My mom, I was the firstborn, so my mom, of course, firstborn, girl, yay. Uh, let's let's dress her up and do her hair. I'll have to post some pictures for you guys. There's actually this funny ass picture of me with curlers in my hair, and I have this most terrified look on my face, and I'm just like, no. And I'm just so mad because I never felt girly. I never felt like my sister. My sister and I look a lot alike with our features, bone structure. Um, we we look a lot alike. Everybody tells us how much alike we look and how I'm the boy version of her. And then my brother. Me and my brother look a lot alike. Growing up, I was basically like the older brother figure to my sister and my brother. I rode quads. I played with all the boys in the neighborhood. I rode bikes. I did all of the quote unquote boy things. I didn't. That's not to say that I didn't play with Barbies and I didn't um, play with my sister with dolls and pretend and all that. I did do that, but honestly, I feel like that's what all big brothers do. They play with their little sisters. They do whatever their little sister wants to do because that's what you do when you're a big brother. Um, so growing up, I never played the gender specific role of female. I dressed like a tomboy. Everybody knew that it was more than just a phase. Um, we'd go school clothes shopping, and my mom would let me pick out whatever clothes I wanted. We would always shop in the boy section. I never liked tight fitting, constricting clothing. I never liked um, makeup. There was a point in time in junior high school that I tried dressing female because I wanted to fit in. I I got teased quite a bit as a kid. Um, I had a lot of friends. I did. I had a lot of friends, and all my friends, they treated me like normal. They treated me like any friend would. I was somewhat popular, not really. I didn't really like school that much. Um, but none of my friends treated me differently. It was always the kids that were more popular or cooler, or they had money, so they could go out and be themselves with money. Um, so that was difficult. It was difficult to uh, deal with being different and knowing that I was different, but not knowing anything about being different. I I am very fortunate to have the family that I have. Um, my family and I aren't really that close anymore, um, for personal reasons. But growing up, I can honestly say that my family was very supportive. They never judged me for who I was. They never tried to force me to be anybody but myself. Um, and I know a lot of transgender male and female out there, they don't have that support. They don't have somebody that they can talk to. They don't come out and say that they're transgender because they're afraid. They're terrified of how people in their life are going to react, and that is horrible, horrible. Um, if anything, I hope that these videos find somebody that is struggling and that they reach out, because I sure as hell wish that when I was going through all of this when I was younger that I had somebody to talk to. I I have liked girls since I was a small child. Um, and it wasn't until probably junior high that I understood what the term lesbian was. And at the time, being, what, 14, 15 years old, you you don't know what transgender is, so you're female and you like females. The term lesbian, the definition is a female with sexual interest towards other females. So I assumed that that's what I was, a lesbian. I knew that I was born female and I liked females. Um, I liked guys, but they were more my friends than any kind of interest in the, it wasn't something that I felt like a guy myself. So I wasn't gay. I didn't like guys sexually like that. That's not to say I didn't experiment with things. Obviously, every teenager does, but it wasn't something that I was interested in. I was interested in females. So for a good majority of my, well, all of my teenage years and a good majority of my adult years, I was quote unquote lesbian. It wasn't until 2013 when I got together with my now current fiance, and we would just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about, each other and how we felt about things and issues in the world, and as every couple does, especially when you first get together. Um, we sat and talked for a long time, and she helped me to get a lot off my chest. Basically, she was my therapist, which was cool because she was my best friend too. So it worked out good. She started doing some research online, and she's the one that actually brought it to my attention that there was a term called transgender. Um, she told me that it was the new term that replaced the terms transsexual or transvestite. I cringe and I hate the word transsexual and transvestite. She knows it. We don't we don't say that word in my house. Um, we say transgender. Uh, there's a couple of terms that I'm gonna give you guys in case people don't know. Not a lot of people do know. Not a lot of people. It's not that they don't take the time to research it. They just don't know what they're researching. They don't know what they're looking for. So the first term is FTM. FTM is myself. It is a subcategory of transgender. FTM stands for female to male. I am female biologically, and I am going to be transitioning to male. So that's where the term female to male FTM, that's where that comes in. There's also a term within the LGBTQ community that is gender fluid. Gender fluid is somebody who identifies as male or female, non-binary, depending on how they feel each day. So there are people out there like Ruby Rose. I don't know if anybody knows Ruby Rose, but Ruby Rose is gender fluid. However, whatever kind of mood Ruby Rose is in when she identifies as she, but however she feels when she wakes up in the morning is the persona that she plays each day. So, and it's not even so much that she's playing, it's just that if she wakes up and she's feeling masculine, then she dresses masculine, she takes on the masculine role. If she wakes up and she's feeling feminine, then she'll put on makeup and she'll do her hair and she'll dress girly, and that's how she feels for the day. Then there are pansexuals. Pansexuals are people who like people for who they are as a person and not because of their gender. So I actually have a friend who is basically pansexual. Um, he is FTM like myself, and doesn't look at people for their sex, but more of their personality. I don't know a whole lot on the term pansexual. I don't know as far as sex goes. Like, that's none of my business. But I'm assuming that sex is sex. That's that's what it is. To me, that's how I feel. Sex is sex, not meaningless sex. But that's for a later video, I guess. We'll get into that more later. Um, transgender. The term transgender didn't become known until about 2012, 2013. It actually dates back to like 1969, the first use of the word, but it had a whole nother meaning back then. Um, Nowadays, transgender, like I said, it replaces the term transsexual or transvestite, and it is somebody who is born into one body, but on the inside they feel different. Um, there's a lot of controversy going on right now about transgender people, and it kind of aggravates me a lot because the whole transgender bathroom issue. Um, there's this big fear that people using the bathroom that they identify with is going to cause problems such as, rape or harassment or whatever. I'm going to touch a little bit on that real quick. The horrible thing about the transgender bathroom issue that frustrates me the most is that a lot of people don't realize the struggles that transgender people have to deal with on a daily basis, such as bathroom use. I despise going to the bathroom in public. It is. It gives me anxiety. I have an anxiety attack in the store or out in public, wherever we are, if there's no gender neutral bathrooms. Um, I, like I said before, I've dressed the same way since I was a child. I have only had short hair. It was longer than this. This is long for me, but normally my hair is this short for at least the past 3 years. Um, so exterior, I look male in some aspects. I don't have the 5 o'clock shadow that I will have one day soon, hopefully, but I do look male from the side or behind. So going into the female bathroom, everybody stares. Everybody talks under their breath. I've had people tell me I'm in the wrong restroom. Um, I have a 4-year-old and I have a 9-year-old daughter. Both of them are daughters. I also have a 12-year-old son. Sometimes I have to take my daughters to the bathroom. We're shopping, and my fiance is the one who does all the shopping mostly. I just go along for entertainment, keep her busy, keep her entertained and happy while she's shopping. But she does the list and she does the shopping. So when she's in the middle of an aisle and she's got her organized list that's ridiculously OCD and she can't step away to take the girls to the bathroom, I do it. The world we live in today, we can't trust the girls to go to the bathroom by themselves because of all the creeps out there. You never know. Not stereotyping at all whatsoever. I'm just saying there are creeps out there, and it would take an instant for one of my children to go missing, and it would literally kill me if one of my kids was gone. So I have to take the girls to the bathroom. Well, my children know that I'm transgender. They know that I have the same female anatomy that they do. So they know that I use the female restroom when I absolutely have to. So when I take my children into the bathroom and I get looked at like I'm some pervert who is creeping on kids, and when I have to take my 4-year-old into the stall to make sure that she wipes properly and to supervise what she's doing and making sure that she's not destroying the bathroom as any good parent would do, and I can hear whispering outside the stall, or I get those looks that, what are you doing in here? You're not supposed to be in here, this or that. It it really hits home. It's really hard to deal with. It's hard to know that there's not any specific bathroom for me. I think that all the people that have such problems with transgender bathrooms or using the bathroom that you identify with, they're ignorant. And it's not to say that in a mean way. I'm not trying to say that any one person is stupid or whatever. They're just uneducated. They just haven't sat down and had a conversation with a transgender person. They've never had to deal with whispers and stares and somebody telling them they're in the wrong bathroom, which is none of anybody's business, really. I go into the bathroom to take care of my business, and I wash my hands and I leave. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not hurting anybody. But everyone seems to think that they need to stick their nose where it doesn't belong. So that's just one of the many issues and struggles that I deal with daily. Um, the other the other one that really gets to me is when I tell people that I'm transgender, and they're very interested. Most people are very interested. They sit down and they want to have a conversation with me about it, and I'm an open book. I tell everybody that it doesn't matter what kind of question you ask me. Just be prepared for the answer, because I'm going to be open and honest about it. So if you don't want an answer to a question, then don't ask it, because I will give you the most black and white answer that you could look for. But when people talk to me about being trans, and I explain to them that I'm transitioning, and a lot of people assume transitioning means that you're on hormones and you are having surgeries and this and that. Most people don't realize that transitioning it starts from the time you realize that you're trans. It starts from the minute that you come across the term transgender and you understand what it means and you identify yourself as transgender. So I am transgender and I am currently transitioning. I have not started my HRT, my hormone replacement therapy, yet. I have not had any surgeries. I plan on having surgeries in the future, and that will also be for another video. But just because I'm not on hormones, testosterone, just because I don't have a beard, doesn't, just because I haven't had any surgeries yet, it does not mean that I'm not transgender. That does not mean that you get to decide whether you're going to refer to me by using male pronouns or not. If we have a conversation and I tell you that I'm transgender and that I go by male pronouns, then that's a respect thing towards me that you at least try to do that. I understand people are going to slip up. It's hard to go. I'm 27 years old. So people that I've known for a long period of time, even just a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and they've been introduced to me before I came out as trans, it's going to be difficult for them to use the male pronouns. It's going to be difficult for them to see me as male. But what really gets to me is when I tell somebody that I'm trans and I explain my wishes. I explain that I, would really like it if you'd use male pronouns and if you would not call me by my legal birth name, that you will refer to me as Taylor, and I am blatantly disrespected. People still use my birth name. They still use female pronouns, and it's frustrating. It really is, because I can tell if you're trying. If you're not trying, I can tell. If you're just there's no effort, or you don't catch yourself doing it, and other people around you are calling me Taylor, saying him and he, and you're still female this, female that, it's aggravating. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. Um, I've got a few more topics, so I'm gonna be doing more videos. My work schedule's pretty crazy, so like tonight, I mean, I left this morning at 7, didn't get home till 8 o'clock tonight, 8:15. Um, so I'm gonna try and do a couple videos a week because I got a lot to talk about. Obviously, this video is like 25 minutes long already. Um, I really hope that this video educates anybody that's unaware of what some of the terms are that I explained. Um, like I said, you guys can feel free to email me, transtaylor13@yahoo.com. Um, you can email me with questions. Like I said, it can be anonymous. I don't have to say your name in any of the videos. I don't have to say that you're the one that asked the question. I can answer it in a video if you'd like, or we can have a private conversation. You can private message me on Facebook. If you have my phone number, you can text me, or we can exchange numbers somehow, email or Facebook Instant Messenger, and we can text anytime. If you know somebody that's transgender and they're struggling with some things and they want to, talk to somebody, I I know that talking to other transgenders is so helpful. It reassures you that you're not the only one. Um, and I honestly don't feel any different than anybody else. I just feel like me. I'm just me. That's it. But sometimes talking to people that have some of the same issues as you, whether it be, parenting issues or bathroom issues or whatever, any issues, talking to somebody that has the same issues as you can really help. It can really alleviate some of the anxiety you might be having or some of the stress you might be having. So if you know anybody, or if you yourself might be struggling with being transgender and coming out, then just hit me up. Let me know what's going on. Um, so yeah, I'm going to try and post another video tomorrow or the next day. We'll see how it goes. But for now, peace out, guys.